Okay, so imagine this. The year is 2123. Decades into the future, we have finally cracked the code of artificial intelligence. The human race has successfully created robots that are able to look, think, feel, act, and live like any other person. They are even indistinguishable from humans, having the ability to grow and adapt. In fact, these robots have gone beyond simple service to humans and have been given their own sovereignty and freedom, the same given to any other human. A child named David Gables is born and then given up for adoption. Almost immediately he is taken in by the Paynes, a middle-class robot family that includes Spencer, who had become his father, Ava, his mother, and Sheila, his sister. The Paynes welcome David into his family, where they provide him with everything he needs to help him live a normal life like any other child. And initially this is the case. David would go on vacations with his family, watch movies with them, go out to eat at human-robot hybrid restaurants, camping, very normal stuff. But as David gets older, he starts to get bullied at school. People make fun of him for being raised by robots, a fake family, and complain about how they couldn't be sure that David wasn't a robot too. For the next few years before David finishes high school, he occasionally comes home with bruises and other minor injuries. Spencer and Ava are very understanding of the situation and try to comfort David, telling him being raised by robots doesn't make him any less of a human, that in fact robots and humans are more alike than not. They further explain to him the great social and political divide between robots and humans, and the disdain one group sometimes holds for the other to help him understand what is happening to him. After graduation, David starts working for his father's manufacturing plant, Oil Blood & Company, where they make a type of medicinal drink for robots to help keep their internals lubricated. At first, David is happy to be out of school and working the family business. But this soon changes. He makes friends with a group that calls themselves the Saviors, a self-proclaimed group of radicals against the existence of artificial intelligence. The group talks to David in a calm and intellectual manner, asking him how he could still be living with robots instead of his own kind. The group talks to David in a calm and intellectual manner, asking him how he could still be living with robots instead of his own kind. They explain to him that his entire life has been a lie, and that his parent robots aren't even real, just a mess of programming and numbers. They asked how David could not be insulted for being forced to be raised by a fake family, having fake experiences with them for half his life, working a job that enforces this fake reality. He is missing out on real experiences with real humans. These words stick with David. He then gets his hands on a copy of the then-banned movie The Terminator, watching in horror as he sees what robots could be capable of. David has a mental break, now believing he has been screwed over of a natural life. Infuriated, he plans to take retribution. The Saviors give him an illegal EMP, an electromagnetic pulse device designed specifically to kill robots. Waiting until both his parents are at home watching Hypnotoad, comfy on the sofa, David sneaks in and blasts the device in their direction, instantly killing them. In a rage, he then throws them in a bathtub full of water and tosses in a live toaster, watching the metal inside them twitch and squeak. David travels 100 miles east, where his sister Sheila is staying at what he believes is Destroy All Humans University. She buzzes him up to her dorm after he tells her something happened to their parents. When he has her alone, he takes out a blowtorch and fires it at her face. He watches with delight at her as she screams and her artificial skin melts off to reveal her true face underneath. It was human and alien looking at the same time. Just before all hope seemed lost for Sheila, campus police arrive and arrest David. Sheila is rushed to a local robot hospital where she needs a whole 2 hours of robot surgery to reconstruct her face. Months later, Sheila testifies against David in a court of law about his violent assault. The evidence of his crimes against his deceased parents was also overwhelming. The jury, consisting of 6 humans and 6 robots, unanimously find David guilty on all accounts, including murder. David is sentenced to death. Okay, so what do you think? Does David deserve the death penalty for his crimes? Regardless of the fact of whether David's family members were truly conscious, sentient beings capable of feeling and emotions, it is widely believed that artificial intelligence will at least evolve to the point where it is indistinguishable from its programming, being able to trick anyone it interacts with that it is in fact conscious. Think of the Turing test. And in this future society, these robots have been given the same rights as humans because enough people believe that they are indeed intelligent beings and not just programming done by humans. They point to their supposed ability to feel and emit emotions, their ability to learn and adapt and grow, their ability to have a job and be productive members of society. It is because of these facts that David's crimes against his robot family is treated with the same level of punishment as if it were humans he killed. So, I'm curious about what you think of these consequences David faces through the lens of our current society. Does David deserve to die? I'll tell you what I think. I think the sentience of AI and robots will always be in question, no matter how convincing they become. But what will happen, I believe, is that robot sentience and robot rights will become the hot-button political issue of the future. Manufactured or not, it will create a huge political divide, where members of opposing parties will hold firmly their beliefs one way or the other, and robot rights will create endless conflict. Throw in the fact that these robots will be able to speak for themselves as well, and what is created is an endless void of confusion. I think most of us in our day and age would probably agree that killing a quote-unquote sentient robot is not akin to killing a human, instead being relegated to destruction of property. But 100 years and several generations of people is a long time, and the landscape of our culture will look drastically different. A culture in which prosecution of humans for crimes against robots could become commonplace. It is because of this that I think society should proceed with caution, especially as AI becomes more widely used in art, music, customer service, chat robots, and likely even in freely moving autonomous robots. What are your thoughts on this case and our future? And please bookmark this video so you can see how much of it came true in 2123.